Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as usual, let's go over the market. Let's talk about what happened, what we can expect to finish off the week, moving into next week, and of course, all of that good stuff. So all that being said and done, guys, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Again, everything I say, don't forget, not financial advice. Make your own decisions. Do your own research, all that good stuff. But ladies and gentlemen, the market's about to close in just over a minute. Tesla going to be pretty much closing flat for the day, which of course is not too bad, right? Essentially some consolidation after such a massive run up is nothing really to worry about. And I think the worst case scenario is we come down to around 186, 187. In my opinion, that is the worst case scenario, at least realistic worst case scenario, at least the quote unquote worst case scenario that I would want to see if it were to go down at all from this consolidation before essentially continuing further upwards, right? However, there's the possibility we do not do that. There's the possibility we just simply consolidate sideways here today, obviously, maybe a little bit tomorrow as well, who knows, and then potentially continue up the rally to the next level up into the 200s, which I still think is definitely coming. So all that being said and done, guys, let's just jump into it. So the market is about to close in 30 seconds, right? So Tesla pretty much just shy of $195 per share. What does it mean? Where's what's happening next, right? So pretty much on the daily chart, let's take a look here. First, you can see first and foremost a pretty mediocre looking candle. We are going to be, it looks like, closing above yesterday's close, which is not a bad sign, right? That's an okay sign. That's definitely more bullish than bearish. Now, I personally exited my sold calls on my main account. I'm still holding it on my smaller account because if it's forced to execute there tomorrow, I'm okay with that, mainly because I'm selling it in profit. My main account would not have sold in profit. So I had 202.5 calls. So I ended up pretty much canceling those out for essentially break even. I don't really want to play with it too much longer, mainly because also we have that semi-delivery event tonight, which just in case, you never really know, right? So better safe than sorry. If nothing too crazy happens, I can just simply resell it tomorrow again. It's not a big deal, right? I'm kind of just playing it a little bit safe here. Anyway, the point is the fact that Tesla has officially closed up 0.01%. So I mean, hey, better than red, I guess, right? That is something, right? Better than a little bit of green is better than a little bit of red. So what does it mean, right? So you can see the overall candle itself for the day is fairly neutral, right? The fact that we did close above yesterday's close is a good sign, but it is a red candle nonetheless. We did see a lot of selling pressure and buying pressure. The daily RSI is still pointing upwards. It's still, well, not currently, I guess. It is going sideways consolidation essentially as well. However, it is making higher highs. It is peaking above these levels over here, even though during these levels we were trading, of course, substantially higher, right? Easily all the way up in the 225s-ish area, which is around that level as my current price target, where I personally wouldn't be surprised to see Tesla go sometime this month, even possibly, in all honesty, right? So that's kind of what I'm seeing there, right? But all in all, right now, in my opinion, what I see it to be like, again, the potential worst case scenario, if you will, is just coming down to more or less retest this kind of resistance, that, or at least old resistance, which could be anywhere between 186 to as high as essentially 189-ish, right? Anywhere in that range, personally, wouldn't be surprised. But you can see, even though we did go higher on the 1 hour chart, it did make actually a higher high, not a very convincing higher high, but nonetheless still made a higher high. So there's no like bearish divergence really setting up just yet. Nothing too obvious or too scary, I guess, right? The fact that this didn't go that much higher is a little bit of a sign of concerning, or a concerning sign in my opinion, but that would be also a little bit more of a short-term thing, maybe like potentially even next week, I guess, right? But it's nothing too crazy just yet because it's still technically not a bearish divergence, so I still wouldn't put too much weight into it for the bearish side just yet, right? Taking a look on the daily at the major moving indicators and whatnot. So actually, I just noticed this. I didn't realize this earlier, but we actually yesterday closed above the 21 EMA, which is really good. And today we came down to it, retested it, and actually went back above it. Did not notice that earlier until I just checked that. That's actually quite good. So it makes me kind of glad I did exit those sold calls on my main account, which is of course the substantially larger accounts, because yeah, this is a pretty decent, pretty arguably bullish sign actually. The fact that we came down, closed above yesterday's close, and also essentially closed above the 21 EMA twice now, and bounced off of it today potentially, right? So, or seemingly at least, right? So that's actually a pretty decent sign. The Bollinger Band, we are above the white line. Still wouldn't be surprised if we potentially come up to the green line, retest that, maybe consolidate, the white line catches up, we come back down to 200, consolidate around the white line, maybe go sideways for a while, and then ultimately skyrocket up, in my opinion, to 220, 230, something like that. So it wouldn't surprise me at all in the slightest, right? So that's something else to consider. The 200 is still well above us. The 50, however, is definitely a potential, resistance area that could act as, of course, resistance if we get to it, which I think we still will, which is around 216 as of right now. By the time we get to it, it'll definitely be lower, so we'll see what happens there. And then moving along, we're well above the 5 and the 10. So the short term The short-term momentum for Tesla as of right now and as it stands seems pretty bullish, guys. It does seem pretty bullish. It seems definitely more bullish than bearish by, I would say, a decent margin as well, because we're above the 5 and the 10 moving averages. We're above the 21 EMA, which in my opinion, oh, it's not showing because I have too many indicators shown, right? But in my opinion, these are all, pretty bullish signs, if you will, at least short-term momentum bullish signs, if you were to ask me, right? So as long as we can get another closure above this 21 EMA for tomorrow, again, my 3-day rule, this being the first day, this is the second day, and we can maintain the closures above the 21 EMA tomorrow, that's a good sign in my opinion. So hopefully tomorrow is another pretty strong day. Maybe something will happen with the semi-delivery event tonight. Who knows? We'll see, of course, but ultimately not looking too shabby, ladies and gentlemen, right? The 4-hour, you can still see, still setting up a beautiful bullish divergence, guys, right? As the stock kept going lower, we kept going the RSI kept going higher, right? So, again, I say this every time, but you can see here as this is going like this is going like this, right? That right there is, of course, a just classical bullish divergence, right? Now, you can see it's also peaking its head higher than these levels up here as well in the 4-hour, similar to the daily, which is a great sign. The 3-hour showing very similar signs. The 2-hour showing very similar signs. The 1-hour is where things start to look a little bit less convincing of a, bullish aspect. And, as it gets shorter time frame, it does get a little bit less convincing in my opinion. Nothing too completely, worrisome, but definitely a little less convincing, which again, all that would tell me is there is potential that we maybe consolidate and or potentially drop a little bit again, maybe to like the 190 to 186 level, bounce off of that, and then continue our way back upwards, right? That is definitely a possibility. I would say it's like a 40% chance and 60% chance we just consolidate here and then just make our way back up, straight up, past this area, without actually going back down to this, 190, 186 level. That is absolutely also a possibility, right? So those are the two main things I'm personally watching for, right? The main thing to keep in mind is essentially being breaking above today's high, which is around 199 pretty much to 200. Breaking above those levels and starting to close candles above those levels is where I would start, thinking that, yeah, this, retest of, 188 roughly is pretty much out of the question for now. But regardless of what happens, in my opinion, whether we just shoot up from here or we come down first to 190, 188, whatever, either way, in my opinion, the momentum is still absolutely bullish. It's still definitely looking great for the bulls, not looking so hot for the bears. But to be fair, the bears had quite a time over here and quite the party. So if the bears are still greedy for more, well, that's just greedy, right? That's just like, look, that's like saying a bull wants more even after these kind of runs like this. You know what I mean? It's just greedy and it's just kind of ridiculous at that point, in my opinion. So we'll see, of course, where this actually ends up leading us to overall. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm liking the way this looks. I'm liking the way it's feeling. I'm liking the way everything is setting up, and I'm feeling pretty darn good, guys. So yeah, all that being said and done, it's looking pretty decent, guys. I mean, one thing that I will say is the fact that, remember I said how I think the VIX is looking to retest potentially 19.5. Well, we're pretty much, we're pretty close, right? So, I still think the market is definitely approaching some major resistances. You can see here, right? I'm very tempted to add puts on the SPY here, but I need to see a bit more trading days and stuff like that, because it's like pretty bearish looking, or at least it's starting to, but it's not like enough to convince me to get puts just yet. So I'm personally waiting to see how this plays out a little bit longer. But ultimately, regardless, Tesla is actually still looking, in my opinion, quite good. So I'm definitely gonna keep my eyes on it, see how it goes, see what happens. I'm excited for the delivery event tonight. Definitely cannot wait to watch that. But yeah, all that being said and done, ladies and gentlemen, it's looking pretty decent. It's looking pretty good. It's not looking too bad whatsoever, and I'm feeling bullish. Whether we come down to retest the 190-ish or not, I'm feeling bullish. So all that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you guys for tomorrow's update. Until then, peace.